First bill on the calendar for the day is House File 4385. Clerk will report the bill.
House File number 4385, number 2 on the calendar for the day, an act relating to taxation, the second engrossment.
Call upon the member from Fillmore, Representative Davids, to explain his bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. House File 4385 is the Omnibus Tax Bill for 2018. And when the governor first put his proposal forward, I read it, and there's been times, I'll admit, governor's tax bills I've somewhat dismissed out of hand, but not this one. This is, we're put in a situation here where we need to do as much conformity as we possibly can, and I think that that's what the House File 4385 does. And what I tried to focus on was we wanted to find out where the money was coming from. Was it coming from corporations? Was it coming from individuals? And then try to get as much back to each of those as we could. That being said, I do have to admit that we do take some corporate money and we use that for individual tax breaks. And so some very key, a basic outline of what we're trying to do here. We're trying to simplify the tax code so that the Department of Revenue can administer the tax code. We have historic tax relief in this bill, and we have middle class tax cuts. The middle class really wins on House File 4385. Some of the key parts of the bill, and I was very thankful when I saw the governor's bill when he went from federal taxable income to adjusted gross income, because I've been saying that from the very beginning that needed to be done, and I don't think everyone was on board on that issue. Now I think we have, I think after studying it, people have come to the realization that we do need to do that. In this bill, we increased the standard deduction from $13,000 to $14,000. We reduced the second income tax rate from 7.05 to 6.75. We increased the amount you can deduct on property taxes from $10,000 to $30,000. Another provision the governor supported, which I'm behind the governor 100% on, is he has full Section 179 expensing. That's very, very important to our farmers and our small businesses, and indeed all businesses. This bill also conforms to 2 other federal tax bills. We use some of the corporate money we raise through conformity to reduce the corporate rate and eliminate the alternative minimum tax on corporations. You'll notice in the bill there's $10 million for the angel tax credit. It includes most of the provisions of the Department of Revenue's policy and technical bills. There was a few things that we looked at that had created a little bit of controversy, so we did take those out. But most of, most of the department's policy and technical bills are included in House File 4385. And before I go to Chair Drazkowski, and members, we tried to get as many local issues in this bill as we could. We couldn't do anything, of course, this time of year. There's a lot of folks that bring amendments or bills that have never been heard. They might have been drafted yesterday, and some of them have been heard. But if they're not in the bill, well, you have the bill before you. So as we get into the debate, we'll dig into that a bit deeper when we start going through amendments. What I would like to do at this time is really give a heartfelt thanks to certain people. I'd just like to start out with Stephen Rubis, who has helped put this bill together, answers a lot of members' questions from both sides of the aisle. Stephen Rubis, thank you. Mr. Tim Smith, Andrew Hassick have done a great job on this bill and in the tax committee area. And of course, you have to look at research, partisan and nonpartisan, and you just go kind of down the list, and I shouldn't do it because I'll forget somebody, but from Joel Michael to Steve Hines to Pat Dalton to, oh boy, Chris Clayman, Sean Williams, and I'm forgetting some, but if I forgot you, I thank you too. So with that being said, then I would like to thank Mr. Travis Reese for his work as the DFL research person, and I would also like to thank Lead Marquardt for working with us on this bill, because folks, members, this is not a bill that maybe we should pass or we think we might pass. We have to pass this and get it signed into law. So I think in tax committee, one of the members mentioned the other day that the bill that you'll be voting on today is designed to be moving towards the governor. I feel the governor in his bill, 4385, was moving towards us. And that's what it's going to take. And you've heard this a million times. You'll hopefully hear it a million more. 68, 34, and 1, 68 votes off of this House floor today. Well, actually, I'd like 133, but I'll settle for 68. No, I won't. It's too good a bill for 68. So let's get some green votes up on this bill, then 34 votes in the Senate, and Governor Dayton, we need his signature so that the department will be able to administer the tax code in the state of Minnesota. With that, I would like to go to kind of the order here. Chair Drazkowski, in fact, I'll just sit down and the speaker would recognize Chair Drazkowski if you want to. I mean, you're the speaker. And then we will go into the amendments and then further debate on the bill. Thank you very much.
I recognize the member from Wabasha, Representative Drazkowski.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you also, Chair Davids, for your introduction of the bill. And members, I'm just going to review quickly the property tax provisions that are in the bill. There's numerous provisions. Some of them are ones that affect all parts of the state, and some of them are ones that are in response to an individual's district. So we have some of each. To begin with, Representative Anderson P. has a provision dealing with modifying agricultural historical societies. Representative Gruenhagen has a provision in here on child care facilities operated by a church. Representative Anderson P. also has one dealing with the agricultural homestead classification, including changes for those who are affected by the family business or members of the family business. Representative Knobloch has one dealing with trusts and their ability to qualify for the homestead exemption. Representative Hertaus has what is a very important provision in the bill. There's uncertainty about how fractional homesteads are dealt with, homesteads where, and mainly this is in agricultural areas, where more than one owner owns the property, and so this corrects a problem that we have there. Also, Representative Hertaus and Johnson C. have two provisions that work together dealing with landowners around qualifying for homestead where there's environmental benefits or environmental improvements. Representative Gruenhagen has one dealing with craft houses and retreats. Representative Detmer has one dealing with veterans, allowing a veteran spouse who actually moves on to a new house, a smaller or same size house, as continuing to be able to qualify for the homestead market value exclusion. Representative Bliss has a provision dealing with an exemption from the state general levy for 12 years for gas pipelines. Representative Bennett has a very important provision dealing with an abatement from the state general tax for rural health care facilities. Representative Anderson P. allowing a county auditor to request a deed prior to sale to make that process work better. Representative Detmer has a provision dealing with withdrawal of land enrolled in a metropolitan ag preserve in a situation where there's a purchase or a conveyance dealing with a public trail or park. Representative Keel has a local provision dealing with Minnesota Multi-Housing and Redevelopment Authority in her area. Representative Schultz has a provision dealing with property tax abatements for a particular mental health center in Duluth. Representative Whalen members worked very hard in the Property Tax Committee bringing forward some fundamental reforms to our very complicated property tax system, reducing the number of classifications from 55 down to 39 by collapsing a lot of the residential classifications into one residential classification. So the most fundamental property tax reform in the bill, credit goes to Representative Whalen, who did yeoman's work in bringing forward what I think all of us have been looking forward to since the 2012 Property Tax Working Group issued its report. So hats off to her. There's a provision in here dealing with an effort Representative Marquardt and I have been working on. We've been working on the house, garage, and acre effort, and we actually put together a school property tax reform working group that will meet in the interim to look at those agriculture school construction funding questions. Representative Petersburg has a piece in here dealing with the senior citizens property tax deferral program, extending the deadline for that, which is congruent with the governor's proposal. Representative Murphy M., there's an LGA adjustment for Hermantown. Representative Hansen, an LGA adjustment for Lilydale. Representative Nash, limiting local governments in their ability to provide, to institute taxes on foods and containers. Representative Erickson, property tax relief for the businesses around Lake Mille Lacs and the struggles that they have had with the fishing problems up there. Representative Runbeck, a provision dealing with lease levy purchasing and requiring local governments to provide the opportunity for reverse referendums if that is instituted. Representative Vogel has a provision dealing with franchise fees and providing for notice, hearing, and a reverse referendum for those situations. From last year, the prohibition on zip rail is included in the bill. Representative Detmer has a provision dealing with veteran service officers disclosing the county assessor data situations. The elimination of the political contribution refund is in the bill again as it was last year. Representative Anderson S., a provision dealing with the ability for Maple Grove and Plymouth to use a portion of the 0.5% transportation sales and use tax on their local roads. Representative Garofalo has a provision dealing with modifying the bond allocation statute. Representative Tice has a bill related to St. Cloud liquor, food, and lodging tax, and it provides for local approval. Representative Sundin, the Cloquet local sales tax revenue use is modified. Representative Lee has an Upper Harbor, Minneapolis TIF provision in the bill. Representative Uglum has an extension of the Mississippi Crossings TIF district from 5 years to 10. Representative Carlson A., there is a Bloomington Central Station TIF provision in the bill. And lastly, a provision I have from a fire that happened in the city of Mazeppa on the main street on March 11th provides for abatement of local property taxes by the city and the county there. That encapsulates the different provisions and the different members who brought those forward, Mr. Speaker and Mr. Chair, in the property tax portion of the bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.